In this brief tutorial, we're going to take a look at the Pearson TestNav Test app. One thing that's different in 2016 than 2015 is that all students will use the TestNav app to take the PARCC. Last year, the app only ran on the Chromebooks, and if you were working on a PC or a Mac, you would be taking your test via web browser. If you look at the lower left-hand corner here, you're going to see my TestNav app. Now, for the actual testing, students on a PC will log into the PC rather than student-student. They're going to log in PARCC, and the interface will automatically run the TestNav app. So rather than clicking on the app, it'll already automatically run. On a Macintosh, rather than clicking on the student icon on the login interface, you're going to click on the PARCC login interface. And then the TestNav app will start up basically like we're going to see here. For our dress rehearsal on the Chromebooks, you're going to have to look at the lower left-hand corner, and you're going to find the word apps, and you're going to click on the TestNav app, similar to what I'm doing here. But for the actual PARCC test, we should be in kiosk mode, where the TestNav app will run automatically. So now we're going to run the TestNav app. The first time you run the TestNav app, you're going to have to pick your testing site. And then afterwards, if you wanted to change your testing site, there's a process for that as well. So for our purposes, we're going to click on the PARCC training icon. Now we can see we're at the student login. We see PARCC training as the heading, and now we can sign in just like we normally would. The first thing I would recommend to do before a student signs in, check the audio. Make sure the audio is working. Usually that would be with the headphones already plugged in. Okay, so now I'm going to sign into a test. Okay, now I'm going to look at my student testing ticket, and I'm going to type in my username. Now my password. Click sign in. You're going to notice that this is a grade 3 ELA literacy assessment. There are 3 units to the entire test. Today we're going to take unit 1. You'll notice that you see the blue start menu button here. And unit 2 and unit 3 both have that lock icon next to the start button, which is grayed out. So it's very easy to know which test you're supposed to start. I'm going to click the start button. So here we see the welcome screen, and this is where we actually would start the test. Let's click the Start Test Now button. Unit 1, 15 questions, Start section. And here I'm going to just talk a little bit about some of the differences. In the 2015 version of the PARCC, at the top here we would have flag. In this version of the test in 2016, it says bookmark. Essentially it does the same thing, but that's one noticeable difference, at least a difference in terminology. I'm going to cycle through these questions. Okay, and actually I'm going to use the review button, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to end of section. Okay, so now at the end of the test, students are going to see this screen. It says, congratulations, you've reached the end of the test, and you're going to submit your final answer. You get your test submit warning, and you're going to click yes. And that concludes the test for that student for that day. Okay, if you notice, in their menu options now, Unit 1 has disappeared. Okay, now if you were monitoring this test, or in the test administrator menu, you would see that student now would be color-coded blue rather than the active test taker that would be green. And the last step for students is to go to the upper right-hand corner, click on the little profile icon and make sure they sign out of TestNav. That concludes this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Thank you very much.